Hi there, we're going to be talking lease extensions here on Property Tribes TV, which is of relevance to both homeowners and buy-to-let investors. And I'm delighted to be joined for the first time by Adam Connolly of Property Tribes Lease Extensions, which is a new service that we're offering to the Property Tribes community. So welcome, Adam.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Now, there's quite a stigma about properties with short leases. Could we just cover why that is?
Yeah, I would say there's probably three main reasons, Vanessa, why there's a stigma attached to the properties with lower leases. The main one really stems from the mortgage industry. So what we've seen after the credit crunch is mortgage lenders restricting their criteria around leasehold property. So we need longer leases to make them more attractive. With the lack of mortgage funding, this means that it affects the saleability, but more importantly, it does affect the value of the property as well.
Absolutely, but I see opportunity there for people, particularly investors who are looking for properties with short leases that they can then extend to increase the value of that property.
Absolutely, it's a huge opportunity, and it's one that with Property Tribes Lease Extensions we've tried to simplify. So we've tried to make what's historically been a very complex legal process and make it a little bit more transparent, a little bit quicker and easier. One of the main areas that we're looking at is to try and educate landlords that if they are looking to purchase property with lower leases, then what they can do is ask the vendor of the property to start the process. One of the key areas is going down statutory and non-statutory routes. So what you find, if people have owned the property over 2 years, then they can ask the vendor of the property to start the process for them. Oh,
that's interesting. And the process is, do they go to the freeholder and request the lease extension? How does that work?
Well, with the Property Tribes Lease Extension, we can manage the whole process for you. So in essence, we'll arrange a surveyor and a solicitor to manage the process. Effectively, a surveyor will go out and value the property, and they'll get an idea of what the premium should be paid to the freeholder, and that's where the negotiations start to take place between surveyor and solicitor of the either landlord or homeowner and that of the freeholder.
Okay, and would there ever be a circumstance when the lease wouldn't be allowed to be extended?
Well, it goes back really to the two types of lease extension. On a non-statutory lease extension, then really you're at the, I say, beck and call of the freeholder. They can name their price in terms of what they can charge to extend the lease, but they can also back out at any time.
Right.
If you go down the statutory route, and most cases if you've owned the property for 2 years or asked the vendor to start the process, then the statutory route entitles you to a 90-year lease extension. The legislation and the Leasehold Reform Act puts pressure on the freeholder to extend the lease, and that's where really the key and the vital area is the negotiation between surveyor and the solicitors of the freeholder.
Fantastic, that's a really helpful explanation, thank you. I start to feel a bit nervous about leases when they go below sort of 75 years. Is there a sort of crunch period, a crunch sort of amount that people should be looking at and seeing, crikey, there's a real opportunity there if I can extend the lease?
There is. I would say the key figure is 80 years. At 80 years, something called marriage value kicks in. And effectively what you have to do after 80 years is share any increase in the property value from the extension of the lease 50-50 with the freeholder.
Ah, okay.
So it's absolutely vital. Not only is marriage a scary term for young men like myself, but marriage value certainly is.
Very good. So we've got this fantastic new lease extensions calculator that people can go onto and put their prospective lease extension into, and it will give you well, tell us what it will give you.
Well, the software is really, like I say, to try and simplify this process. You put in 10 questions and it's around the property, the amount of years left on the lease, the current market value. The system is quite unique, and it's one of the only systems in the market that can use the calculation that the surveyor will do to give you a premium of what should be paid to the freeholder. It's also very interesting to give you a breakdown of what delaying the lease extension could cost you in the long run.
Okay.
The system will then break down the quote to provide you with either the cheapest, the nearest, or the best rated package for both solicitor and surveyor.
Wow.
At that point you can then instruct, and really we just take the whole process over and run that for you.
Brilliant. That is really fantastic. So it could actually be used as a due diligence tool if you were looking at a property with a short lease.
Absolutely.
You could actually use that to work out where the value is.
You could. So you can use it as a real tool, and I think that's what we're trying to promote with the Property Tribes members, is that use it as a tool, use it in negotiations if you're looking to buy properties with shorter leases.
Good idea.
Also, if you are a freeholder, the system can actually quote for leaseholder and freeholder legal work as well, so hopefully we can cover both bases.
Fantastic. Well, really interesting talking to you, Adam. Thank you. And I think lease extensions is an interesting strategy to consider because it's the easy way to increase the value of the property and you don't get your hands dirty. So nice talking to you. Thank you, Adam. We've been talking about lease extensions and we invite you to check out the Property Tribes Lease Extensions tool.